Alright, what's up everyone, the French Monkey here, and welcome to another Backstage commentary. And today we're going to talk about this project. So to do this, I created a design inside of Fusion 360, which is this capsule right here, and also this kind of thread. And I will show you how to model that easily inside of Fusion. And in this scene, I used only one light and just a honeycomb cloner. And yeah, so let's get right inside of Fusion 360 to show you my little model. So as you can see, this is the model that I created. And to be able to make this shape, it was fairly easy. I'm going to show you. So I'm going to create a new sketch. I'm going to click on anything right here to enable my sketch. And I'm going to select my plane. And I'm going to go back right here into create. And as you can see here, we have a couple of options. And in this case, I created the polygon. So I created this one, the second one. I clicked on the middle plane and I just drag this out. Of course, before clicking to finalize the shape, you can just click tab. And from there, you will be able to change the number of polygon that you have. So I went with 6 polygon and I'm going to click OK, and we have our shape right there. So I'm going to do a quick extrude, and to be able to make these kind of opening right here, so I'm going to close the thread body. Yeah, so to be able to make this opening, I selected my top face. I created another rectangle right here, and then I took this rectangle, right click and move, and from there you'll be able to drag it down. And now you can just go and extrude it with a cut operation, and that's how I was able to make this. Of course, afterwards I did this. I just did one face, and then you will have to click on your inside faces and do a circular pattern. Select the axis, and of course now my model is not centered, but if it was, I would simply click on my axis right here and duplicate it 3 times. And to create the inner thread, this is very easy to do. So I'm just going to create a circle. I'm going to extrude it. And the only thing I have to do is go to create and select the thread option. I'm going to select my face. And as you can see now, we have a couple of options, and we also have the option to actually model the thread. So I'm going to click on that to enable it. And now we have our threads. Of course, this is a little bit too much. So I'm going to change the thread profile. So I'm not really sure what is what, but I just played around them to be able to have something like that. And yeah, that's pretty much how I was able to make the thread inside of Fusion 360. And let's jump inside of Cinema4D. I'm going to show you my setup real quick. And of course, again, this project is available on my Patreon, so I will have a link down below. There's also prints available if you guys want to help out. And I used my smudge kit on the metallic part, you can see here. So yeah, be sure to check out my smudge kit as well. All right, so my setup is fairly easy. I just created a cloner, changed the mode to honeycomb array, and I played around with the size, width and height and the count. And as you can see, my count is a little bit crazy. So hopefully you will not have any issues while opening this. And the only thing I added was a random effector with a spherical field. And inside of my random effector, I just applied, I just changed the Y position. I set that to random. And then inside of my spherical field, I just set it up in place. And yeah, that was pretty much it. When it comes to my texturing, I went very basic with it. So as you can see, it's a mixed material. So even though I have a mixed material, you know, the second one is not really present because I was using a dirt, and I didn't change my index. So, you know, I don't know why I left it there, but it's there. So yeah, so we have our mixed texture for our metallic part, and for the inner thread, I created a specular material with a random walk medium. And as you can see here, the density is set to 5, almost color blue. And yeah, something that I added in Cinema was a cylinder right in the middle of the thread to be able to illuminate it. And this is how I was able to get these red artifact here, and this chromatic aberration as well from the inside. So yeah, it was interesting to get that effect. And yeah, and one last step that I did, and this is something that, you know, might help you out when you try to texture your model, is I selected my body, I went to Polygon Selection, I select everything, and I did an optimized. So be sure to do that if you are importing models from another software. And I'm going to show you how I was able to select individually some portions of my model. So I'm going to go to select, again in polygon mode, select, I need to select my body actually, select and loop selection. So I'm going to do a loop mode right here on the last part that I want to apply another texture to, and I'm going to press U. And as you can see now, we have some options, and the options that I am trying to find is the F, so field selection, UF. And as you can see now, I can directly select all of this individual part as well without having to go through in the inner portion of my model to try and select every polygon. So I did that with all of my screws, and I then just simply applied another texture into it, and this will create a polygon selection with the new texture. So yeah, that was the 2-cent tip I had for you. And that's it for today's project. So of course, be sure to become a Patreon if you want to support these free files and backstage commentary. And yeah, I will see you guys tomorrow with another project.